it's basically a survey. Have you ever had a religious experience?
What do you mean by that?
So it could be you had a sense of a divine presence.
Yeah?
You could hear a sense of a divine presence. It could be hearing the voice of God. It could be out of body experience.
You never heard the voice of God.
It could be feeling a sense of divine peace, a feeling of divine tranquility.
Yeah, of course.
It could be dreams.
Yeah, of course, we have this in Islam, but we don't have this hearing the voice of God. Because why? We have which we call bishara, glad tidings.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see which we call a dream.
It could be like a vision of some sort.
Vision, or something which is from God, you know. Yes, like for example, what I went through in my life and how God saved me, to me it's very like, what do they call it?
Significant, special.
Yeah, significant special events happen to me that which, but this is a personal experience, understand?
Yeah.
This does not put the same as the truth to everyone.
True, but some people can have collective experiences of the same thing. Some people can have collective experiences. I spoke to two Muslims, right? They both said they heard the voices of angels together.
Yeah, but again, how do they know you was angels?
It's a very extremely beautiful voice. It was near like an Islamic cemetery.
I don't know about that because
there was no one else around.
Because sometimes, yes, you can be directed or being inspired or helped by the angels, but I never heard someone saying, I've heard the voice of the angels, you know? Because again, if it's a good thing, Allah knows best, but again, Satan can deceive us. For example, now we go back to, for example, the best example that I can give you about easily we can fall into deception and a Satan trap by believing that God spoke to us directly. Paul, he said on his way, I don't know if the story is true or not, but according to him, God appeared to him. Jesus appeared to him, and inspired him. The question, how can he know that was Jesus or not?
Then a prediction came true. Gave him a prediction, it came true.
I mean, there's many predictions that Paul said it didn't come true.
Paul said that Jesus, the voice told him, go to Ananias, you'll be healed there. And he went there and the thing happened.
Yeah, but according to Matthew 24, doesn't not prove that it's God speaking to you. Because according to Matthew 24, even the liars, they would do wonders, miracles. They will have miracles. So according to Jesus himself, he said there will be many liars, deceivers, and they will have wonders which mean miracles. So, because for example, fortune teller and a soothsayer can tell you something which is true about the future. And our Prophet told us, but it's mixed with a lot of falsehood. Prophet Muhammad told us how the Satan or the demon, the jinn, steal the information or the news from the heaven and pass it to one another until it reaches the magician or the fortune teller. Then the fortune teller himself mixes it with falsehood. So that doesn't prove that Paul did hear God, because something happened and because there was a prediction that which occurred and took place. You understand? So again, so your master is about people hearing the ways.
So the people having religious, spiritual, mystical experiences, and to what extent can you indicate God's existence? So
what I would say to you is about your own self, because the beauty of Islam it teaches you to save yourself first. Because you're not guaranteed. You and I and all of us here, we're not guaranteed to live forever.
We're not going to.
I mean, we can die anytime. Understand? And when you're going to stand before God, God is going to ask you. He's going to tell you what do you think about the other people. He's going to ask you first. That's what in the Quran says, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. Oh, who you believe, save yourself and your family from the fire first. So you come in here and say, I don't want to comment. It's not something which is wise to do.
No, I would say it's wise not to speak without knowledge. I would say it's wise not to come to a decision until you evaluate all the evidence. You've done your research and then come to a decision. I don't want to make a claim and then like 5 weeks later I'm going to change my mind.
I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, you're right. And even that Islam teaches us to speak with knowledge. However, the things that I'm speaking about.
By the way, it's not I don't have a position. I just don't want.
I don't want to speak about.
I don't want to reveal my position.
But what I would say to you, the things that we speak, like me personally, when I speak to Christians, I don't go in detail. Generally speaking, sometimes maybe I do, but generally speaking, I don't go in detail with a Christian layman about manuscripts, about many technical things. What I do, I speak about something which is not by necessity. For example, God becoming a human, that doesn't make any sense to any human being, because God is perfect. By God becoming a human being, by default, he's going to become imperfect. which go against God's nature, which is perfect all the time.
Yeah, I'm being devil's advocate. What do you think the contention is? That some Christians would say Jesus' nature as God is distinct from his nature as a human being. They're united in the same person, but they say like your physical nature is distinct from your spiritual nature. They're still united in the same. So Jesus' God nature is distinct from his human nature, but united in the same person. Just how like your physical nature is distinct from your spiritual nature, yet still united in the one person. How do you answer that?
This is easy to respond, because when you ask them, tell me which Jesus' nature is God within him, and which one. For example, the soul. The soul is inside me, okay? I mean, me and the soul is the same thing, okay? Like when you say, Shamsi, if you hurt me, you're gonna hurt me and you have my soul, Shamsi, yes? So it doesn't make any sense Jesus had two natures within him. That doesn't make any sense. It's a contradiction. Understand, brother? That's why even the Bible, where Jesus said, I had God nature and human nature at the same time. He never said that. He never said that. Also, there's another way to refute also. Okay, I asked them, if God was inside Jesus, okay, which God was it, the Father?
They said the Son.
They said the Son.
Yeah.
So the Son became human being, because according to the Bible, he said, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word became flesh, became flesh. Also, that God, in the Old Testament, Jacob said to God, the heavens cannot contain you. The heavens cannot contain you, let alone my own temple. So if the heavens cannot contain God, why? Because God is the greatest. Okay, because the Christians sometimes
nothing can contain him.
No creation can contain him, no doubt. The Christians, they believe in God conceptually, not in reality. God exists independently. He has own attributes. So عليكم السلام بارك الله فيك دار شويه حياك الله امين امين جزاك الله خير الله يعزك. So if no doubt the heavens is greater and bigger than humans, Jesus' body. So how God was inside the body? If someone says, yeah, but you as a Muslim say, I can help you, or help the Christians in a way, not help them, but I can refute some doubt. Because, for example, they say, yeah, but when you say God descends to the lowest heaven, you say without how? No, there's difference between something we can observe in our physical world, and there's something which is a pure unseen. We can observe from the physical world that Jesus, he was a human being. People, they saw him with their own eyes. They didn't say he was bigger than other human beings. He was a normal human being. He was ignorant. Ignorant meaning he didn't know many things. Okay, not disrespect Jesus. Because as a Muslim, if I do disrespect Jesus, we take no doubt, become a disbeliever. The point here is, logically speaking, rationally, how Jesus as a human being, his body, contained God, which in the Bible say the heavens cannot contain him. Either God go against his nature to be the greatest and became smaller than Jesus, and there were other human beings that were bigger than Jesus. So they were bigger than who? Bigger than God, who was inside Jesus. That doesn't make any sense. That's why in the Quran, you know, the best example, the refutation against Christianity in the Quran, Allah said about Jesus and his Mary, كَانَ يَأْكُلَانِ الطَّعَامِ. Both of them used to eat food. What does that mean? It means that they cannot be independent, and God is independent, is self-sufficient. If God's in need of food, cannot be self-sufficient. You know, that's why when I speak to Christians, I always emphasize on the most important thing, which all human beings share, which is our sound intellect. Understand? God became a baby. Okay. So when he was a baby, I mean, you can correct me. I know that Christians, they say, even when he was a baby, God was inside him.
God was fully the baby. The baby, the human nature is distinct from God, but the baby and God were fully united.
Yeah, so God was inside.
God was fully the baby.
Yeah, God was inside the baby. So again, so Mary was bigger than God. Mary was bigger than God in size. I mean, because God exists independently.
And the heavens and earth can't contain him.
I mean, the Bible says that, and in the Quran, of course.
I'm doing MMA philosophy, so I'm saying God. I do study religion. I read all the religious textbooks, but
you haven't read all Islam books.
Quran, yeah.
You have a Quran?
Yeah.
And understood it correctly, or just read it? Like read the newspaper.
No. I read the Quran. I read most of Sahih Bukhari. I read most of the Bible and the Torah. So I have some understand what these religions say, right?
Okay.
But
Vitamin D, brother.
I know there's like one time I read the Quran. I read the Quran many times. Okay.
There is no. You wanna go there? Yes, say again. You read the Quran?
Away from the Majaneen though, Shamsi, yeah? Oh no, Shamsi.
So I do have some kind of, but as an M philosophy, right? I'm thinking from not necessarily what I hold it, but I say from forming in a philosophical point of view. And God from a philosophical point of view is outside space and it's outside time. God is outside space.
Okay, when you say space and time, again here, look, these are praising a philosophy which Christianity adopted later on. Jesus.
So does many Muslims.
Likewise, I agree. Yes. So the Jewish people did first. Okay, then the Christians followed them. Then the Muslims did follow them. You're right. So the point here is Jesus and Moses and all the prophets and messengers, they never came with philosophy. They came with the logical, rational. When you say logical, not the philosophical, defining logic. Okay.
There is an overlap between like logic, a religious scripture might use, and what a philosopher might use. They use the same kind of syllogistic.
No, for example, like talking about space and time. Yes, we talk about space and time. Again, space is an ambiguous term, all right? Because we believe God existed before the creation, correct?
Yeah.
So when God created the creation, either He created the creation within Himself or outside Him. Which one is it?
So the classical theists say He created from nothing. He created the.
No, I'm not talking about from. When God created the creation, was it within Himself or outside Himself?
But here's the thing: if God has no place, inside, outside, like it doesn't really. There's no meaning.
Yeah, okay, but there is God exists before the creation, correct?
Yeah.
So now rationality, God exists and there's nothing beside God.
Yes.
God created the creation.
Yeah.
Either it's going to be inside Himself or outside Him.
There's no third option.
It's like asking where the edge of the earth is, right?
No.
The question like, is it over here or is it over there?
No. Okay. It's a logical, rational. You cannot escape it.
Yeah,
It's
because
irrational.
they know the answer
You
gives birth to something
is
else.
God existed all the time, has no beginning, correct?
Yes, but just saying God exists doesn't mean God exists in a place. It's two different things.
I'm asking about place or
No,
not.
but then you ask it, is it inside Him or outside Him?
Yeah, so God really created the creation.
So when you ask that question, did God create the creation inside Himself or outside Himself? You then presuppose God exists in some type of place.
Does God exist?
Yes, but that doesn't indicate it's a physical place.
Okay. Even this term physical, you see, this is the poison philosophy. You know, everyone here asked him, because they haven't studied philosophy, naturally, the way God created us, they say, yes, God existed, we have God. Because remember, I said to you, differentiate between conceptual belief of God, which only exists in your mind, does not exist in reality, and that's the majority of the belief of the philosophers, Muslims or Christian or Jewish, they have God that only exists in their minds, does not exist in reality. Because if God, does God exist independently?
God exists, yes.
Independently, all right? And He has an essence.
Yeah.
Okay, He has an essence. So therefore, God has an essence. So when God's going to create another creation, that creation doesn't exist outside Him or inside Him, because there's only God now.
But again, you're presupposing God exists in a place. But it's like me asking you, which swimming pool did you go to?
Which?
It's like me asking you, which swimming pool did you go to this morning?
Which swimming pool? Yes, I want swimming pool.
Hold on. If I ask you right now, which swimming pool did you go to this morning? You would say that question presupposes I went to a swimming pool, but I never went to a swimming pool.
Same here.
No. There is a false comparison.
False comparison.
False equivocation.
No, but there's an assumption in your question.
Did God create the creation?
Yes, but I don't know what.
I'm asking you, did God create the creation?
Yes, but hold
Does
on.
this creation
Did that creation exist outside of God or within God?
God creating the creation.
Yeah.
Does that necessarily God must exist in a place to create the creation?
Forget it. You see, you focus on the place.
You
I'm
said
not
But you're focusing on outside and inside, so I have to focus on place.
Because God exists, okay?
Yes.
Okay, God exists. There's nothing beside God.
Yeah.
God created the creation, all right? Was it where?
So the classical theists, right? They all say God created from nothing, okay?
No. You're not asking my question. You're asking a question that I never asked. I'm
No,
not
but
asking
then
you
I can't answer
where
it.
did God create the creation from. I'm asking you, imagine, give you example. Okay, nothing exists except me. If God is going to create something, if nothing exists except me, either I'm going to create it in me, because there's nothing there. There's nothing there beside me, correct? Either I'm going to create it inside me or outside me.
One of the
and
two.
by the way, this is the argument of Ibn Ahmed mentioned it, and Ibn Qayyim mentioned it. Okay, you can go back to it. This is the the problem and the poison of philosophy. You start going, what you do in our respect, you become sophistry.
Okay, you can say that.
You know what is sophistry?
You can have that view.
But you know what is sophistry?
Yes, I'm just speaking nonsense, right? Have that view. Have that view. But understand, many Ash'ari Muslim theologians, the exact same position.
They're poisoned by philosophy.
That's your view.
No,
you can have that view. You can have that view. You can have that view.
This is the view of the uqala, the people with sound intellect.
Bro, look, understand, one Muslim tells you something, other Muslim scholars tell me
No.
I have to go back to what seems most like logical to me, right? It seems for a being that exists before space and time, talking about this being actually had a place that has an outside and inside doesn't seem to me rationally warranted.
Where he created creation?
Sorry?
Where he created creation? The creation, does the creation exist?
The creation does exist.
Does God exist?
Yeah.
Does the creation exist inside him or outside him?
But again, I presuppose God has a place.
Brother, if God exists, what are you playing around? If God exists,
there is an
he's a
outcome from the
sovereign.
answer,
There is
you
that.
just don't want to answer.
This necessitates, look. If there's nothing exists except me, if there's nothing exists except me.
Yeah, but that's not the case. I can't prove that.
Okay.
I can't prove that.
You believe in God?
Yes.
Okay. And now, okay, no problem. You know what? Forget all of this. If God doesn't have place according to your Bible.
Just rationally. Like,
No, rationally.
You have to escape the Bible now, isn't it?
The term place is ambiguous. If you mean physical place which is created, yes, I do agree.
Okay.
But if you mean God is separate from this creation, then it has to be somewhere.
Okay.
You call it place or not, it's up to you.
So we've agreed, God does not exist in a physical place.
No,
Therefore,
you have to listen to my words.
That's what he said.
didn't say that.
Physical place.
Yes, created.
Right.
No,
Right.
wait.
You put words in your mouth, Shams.
I don't believe God is contained by physical place.
Good.
Okay.
We both agree.
However, in the Bible and in the Quranic teaching, not according to Aristotle, Plato, according to Moses and Jesus, according to the Bible, Jesus is standing next to God, and God is sitting on the throne. Okay? Is it the front? No, it's not vision.
It's in Corinthians. It's in Corinthians.
That's the reality. On the day of judgment, God will be sitting on the throne.
Yes.
Okay. That throne is inside God or outside God?
Well, you see, I'm not looked at these passages, right?
It's in the Bible, I can show you.
Okay.
That's why you're following a philosopher, you're not following Jesus.
First of all,
It's in Corinthians.
It's Corinthians what?
Okay,
It's not philosophy, it comes from Genesis. Because in Genesis it says man was made in the image of God, there's an inherent mystery within Jewish and Christian theology in that the man's making himself and man's... Sorry, I don't want to be filmed. I'm alright. I'll just check.
let's agree.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, so we both agree God does not exist in a physical place. So we both agree. Then
It's not contained by a physical place.
Then there is no,
However,
there's
I
no-
believe...
Let me finish.
Okay, sorry.
So there's no point in talking about a physical outside and an inside. When you say outside and inside, I only know that to me physically. I don't have no.
But even the term
concept.
physical, what do you mean by that?
What has being? What matter? What has matter?
Okay,
What has matter? So here's the way. If the only concept of outside and inside I have in my head is that of physical, right?
Say again?
The only concept of outside and inside I have in my head is that of physical, right?
Okay, it's your problem. That's your mind's problem. Not the reality. Yeah. It's a problem with
You
your
try to
mind.
impose your problem
It's
upon
the
us.
outcome of being
Fine,
poisoned.
no problem. We can only know reality throughout. I only have my mind. You understand?
This is
You understand?
not-
I don't have your mind. I don't have his mind. I only
No,
have
no,
my
but
mind.
sound reasoning, which in
This is sound reasoning.
No, it's not.
If,
It's not.
if God does not exist in a physical place, how can you speak
Brother,
of an
what do you mean by
outside?
physical place?
How can you speak of an outside and inside when the only concept of outside and inside I have are physical?
Okay, what do you mean by physical place?
Something that has matter. Something that has like atom. Made out of atoms.
That's have matter, yeah? Something has a matter, okay? So matter is created, of course. So God is outside the matter, okay? God is not created, okay? That's what I said to you. If God exists independently,
Yeah.
God exists independently, correct?
Yeah.
Well, it's not really...
Did he create the creation?
Yes.
Okay. Is his creation was inside God or outside
Okay.
God? Or, no, let me look. That's why. If there is God independently exists, he has own essence, yes? Is a logical, rational outcome. You cannot turn away from it. When he create the creation, not from where? When he create the creation, outside him, inside him, because he exists independently, okay? Or he's above the creation, or the creation is above him, or because he created in reality, correct? Tell me how.
If you mean outside, in the sense that if you mean outside by the creation, the creation is distinct from God.
Yes.
That's a yes.
That's it. Okay. So there was a misunderstanding.
Got there in the
Hold
end.
on. Understand? Primarily, outside means place.
No, brother. This again, this is the problem of being praised by the philosophy. Because philosophy try to dictate to us. For example,
If you say this, therefore you mean that.
Yeah, if you say this, it has to be this way.
you imply this.
No, most likely means that.
No. For example, if something moves, it must have a body. Okay? This is a philosophical conclusion. We're talking about God. We're not talking about this. Again, that's why I said to you, we are differentiate between followers of Jesus and Moses and the followers of philosophers. The Christians now, they don't follow Jesus and Moses anymore. But they don't even follow Moses. I mean, even Jewish, even some Muslims, they, when it comes in speaking about God's essence, they speak with the terminology of the philosophers. So God is distinct from his creation, correct? So that's it, that's what I say. And therefore, God, that's what we say, God is above the creation, distinct from his creation. So therefore, the creation exists independently, and God exists independently. Yeah, you agree? Yeah, that's it. And that's what we say, God is, and this is why he goes with the fitrah. Because when we say, no, it's not inside him, not outside him, so therefore it has to be.
Physically speaking.
This creation is a physical.
No, hold on.
Dubious, ambiguous speech.
Inside and outside, primarily
Unclear.
refers to physical reference.
But
Yes?
again, what I say to you, look, out of respect, you have to be careful. When you say physical, I don't care what this philosopher gonna say.
Matter.
No, okay. Is this creation matter?
Yes.
God created it. Is he mixed with it?
No.
It's distinct from it. So it's outside him.
In the sense it's distinct from his being, yes.
If it's distinct, it's outside him.
But
Brother, if it's distinct from him, it's outside him.
Exactly.
Let me finish. But to speak of physical place, it is meaningless to speak of.
Brother,
every
again,
outside
you are repeating this term.
But that's what outside and inside mean. Outside and inside refer to places.
Okay.
That's what it primarily means.
Is God distinct from the creation?
Yes.
So it's outside him.
If by being distinct in that sense, yes.
outside.
That's not the that is not the primary.
So therefore,
that
let
is
me
not,
finish,
that,
finish.
that's not the primary meaning of outside.
Let me
Do you
finish.
understand?
It means. So therefore, God being outside the creation doesn't mean God is in a place which we. Sorry. So we, as a Muslim and the Salafis, that's why Ash'ari, they believe, which you yourself now you start dropping. Because when I said to you, it's distinct, you said yes, which therefore necessitates outside him. Because if it's distinct of something else, mean is.
Hold on.
Distinct does not mean coupled together.
Let me ask you a question. You can go. God
Words have meanings and you're removing them.
Words have meaning.
For Christians, I understand.
To say
But
God
we're telling
is
you our
distinct
belief.
from the universe, that has one unequivocal meaning, right? God is from the creation. When you say God is outside the creation, you have two possible meanings, right? One, you could say God is physically outside, or you could say in your sense God is distinct. Why do you choose to focus on the more ambiguous way of saying it when there's a more unequivocal way of saying it?
No, I'm not.
Saying God is distinct from the creation, that has one unequivocal meaning.
That necessitates outside.
But after you argue, is God outside? How is he outside?
No. I didn't say how.
No,
I never said how. I never said. No.
You went through it. Is it outside means physical or do you mean it's distinct?
No. Firstly, outside necessitates distinct. Because if something is distinct, if I'm distinct from something else, is it mixed with me or outside me?
In the sense of being, God. If you mean the sense of being, yes, you could say God is outside.
God is a being.
But God is a being. Yes.
It's outside the creation.
In a secondary sense, yes. But that's not the primary use of the word outside. So why focus? So why would it?
What do you mean by outside?
Primarily outside refers to place, right?
No, not all the time. No, not all the time.
Primarily, almost always.
No. When you talk about creation,
always.
No. When you talk about creation, therefore, if I'm talking about God, I'm being so clear because logic dictates here. Look, logic dictates if God is the only, it has no beginning, no end, and there was no creation, so there will be no physical place, which means create. When I say physical mean, I like to emphasize mean create the place. Because there was nothing created, so God has no beginning. So therefore, when God created the creation, which is, it must have a place. Therefore, when you say God has a place, if you mean God is outside the creation, I said yes, and you agree with me, separate with creation. That's why the Ash'aris don't agree with that. The Ash'aris don't say, he's outside, he's not inside, he's not the right, he's not the left. But even that, that's why Imam Ahmad, rahimahullah, may Allah have mercy upon him, from the Salaf, he came with argument which is a logical, rational to any human being. God, that's why I said to you, I start emphasizing on God exists independently. Because when I speak to Asha'ira, philosophers, Christians, I've noticed when they start speaking about God, they focus more on the conceptual God, which only exists there in their head. Because it doesn't make any sense. Something exists independently and it's not separated from another thing.
I read this hadith in Bukhari. I read this hadith, right? Where God will be at the day of judgment.
Yeah.
He will first interview the Jews and then the Christians, and he'll come to the Muslims, right? The righteous and the unrighteous among them, and he will come to them in the position that is closest to them. The hadith like
doesn't say close to them now. It's about the hadith about the hadith of Surah. No. That's about the hadith of Surah that on the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will appear in one form and will appear in another form. Yes. But that doesn't mean he go against nature. And again, I
understand. So, my concept of God and your concept of God might be different, okay? But we can't say mine or your concept of God can totally encapsulate the true nature of God, because one, God is beyond our comprehension, and two, the hadith itself says God will come in the form, God will come in the form closest to us, suggesting we cannot truly conceptualize God. We all have different
I don't know if I remember this hadith correctly, but close to us.
Close to the form we have, closest to the form we have. The exact wording was, I read it in Sahih Bukhari, I can bring it next week.
Translation, maybe it's the wrong translation.
Maybe. The word was closest to the picture of him in their mind, right?
No, there's no hadith says close pictures in our mind. Anyway, the point here is
I can show you. I read it a few days ago.
Okay, you can get it, but the translation, I know the hadith of Surah. That Allah will come in one form,
right.
Then he will come in another form as a test. Okay.
Even so.
Okay. So let me explain. Yes, I do agree with you. We do not comprehend everything about God. Likewise, we don't comprehend His true nature. But we understand certain things which God tells us about Himself. There are certain things we understand, like which call universal knowledge, or that which is known by necessity. For example, the Asha'ira, when we speak about God's attributes, they try to negate some of God's attributes, claiming if you do affirm it, you are resembling God to His creation, which is incorrect, okay? Because, for example, the argument that Ibn Taymiyyah used against them, if you're saying if I affirm this attribute of God for God, therefore I'm resembling to His creation, you are alive. God is alive. Is your life like God's life? No. Okay. Likewise, for every attribute and every name of God, same criteria. Understand? So, for example, like I said to you about when you read about, that's why in the beginning I said, what's your name? I never got your name.
I don't remember.
Give me a fake name anyway. I'm not homophobic, by the way.
Okay. My middle name is Hassan, so we'll go with Hassan.
Hassan. Your middle name?
My name is Hassan.
Yeah. Okay, Hassan, what I will say to you, that's why in the beginning I said to you, the Christians now, they follow the Christian philosophy. Like you said, some Muslims do as well. If you listen to Bob is not speaking how Jesus spoke about God. He speaks about how some Christian fathers who were heavily influenced by Greek philosophy speak about God. I'm not sure. Once I was speaking to a young boy, and he negates every attribute of God.
Like the Jahmiyyah.
Like a Jahmiyyah, understand? Which doesn't make any sense. So the God they believe in doesn't exist in reality. Because anything that exists in reality independently must have attributes. You understand? So that was my argument. But let me bring you back, I think you digressed a lot. The point here is about Christianity, God doesn't make any sense. The concept of God.
I mean,
becoming a baby and God.
The major, I would say, the Christian concept of God primarily is not about the incarnate, about the Trinity. Okay? How there's three distinct persons.
But they are one.
There's still one God.
They are one in what if they are distinct?
Well, the Christian argument is they're one in essence. They share the same essence, or they share the same self. Or
so, for example, Shamsi, Hassan, Jamal, we are distinct people, but we are one essence. Because you have human nature, the same thing, exactly, okay? Yeah. So now, if Jesus is God by default, God has no beginning, no end. And He has everything perfect, okay? Everything perfect, okay? And God does not submit to no one. You agree? Everything submits to God. The Christian, they say to us, yes, when Jesus was on the earth, He had to pretend or act like a human being.
Yeah, humble himself.
Humble himself, yeah, which doesn't make any sense. That's not God's nature. That's human nature, humble himself. Yeah. God does not need to humble to no one because He's the greatest. Yeah. Guess what? In Paul, which is Corinthians, on the day of judgment, everything will submit to Jesus. Then Jesus himself will submit to the Father.
And he'll be subordinate.
Subordinate, submit. Yeah, subjugate.
Yeah.
That
In
is
worship.
so you just told me God does not submit to no one. If Jesus is God, and that is not and on the day of judgment, not only is human being, on the day of judgment, he's going to submit to the Father. Therefore, they're not same. Jesus is lower than the Father.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess like what they would say,
Yeah.
the Christian would say is, well, again, the human, even when he's God, the human nature is still distinct from his divine. They're united in person, but they're distinct.
No, but
in
they say
nature.
when he returned,
exactly.
they say when he returned, it's not human anymore. He's God now.
No, even though he's both human, even when he
Even when he returns.
Yes.
So it's not gonna be. All his life gonna be human.
Always going to be fully human, fully God.
Hang on. They said the reason he became human here to communicate with us.
Yeah.
Then when he went back
But he
to the
did-
day of judgment,
He resurrected, and humans will also resurrect, and humans resurrect also part of their human nature.
Okay.
Also, nature that Jesus resurrects as a human as well.
but in the Bible does not say Jesus' human nature submits to God. He said Jesus himself.
Yeah.
So himself as a whole. That includes God's nature according to your belief. And the question also, Jesus as God, is he the Father?
No,
He's not the Father. Jesus as God, does he know the hour?
no,
Huh?
no.
He doesn't know. So he cannot be God.
Yes, that's a problem.
Yes. Jesus as God, is Jesus as God? What I've seen in the Bible, Jesus, because God is not God part time, it's God all the time. Which he should be worshipped alone, should be glorified. In the Bible, it seems that Jesus as God, he's like he took day off to be God. Just Jesus worshiping the Father only the Father. He's not even asking his other nature, which is God, to help him. That's why I look at Islamic teaching, which goes in line with our sound intellect
right.
and the natural inclination, which the Creator created us with. That's why the Creator is the most wise. When He created you and I and everyone, He created with us the tools and devices which go in line with His revelation. That's why God is one, is perfect. He has no beginning, no end. Jesus, we love Him. He's a mighty messenger. And it's a dirty, not all the French people, but the Olympics, what they did to disrespecting Jesus
All the
and his
disciples
disciples,
and the dinner and the
they are
banquet.
free from it, and this is a satanic way. And we Muslims will defend Jesus, But clearly, Jesus and all the prophet messengers came to call people to worship one God and stay away from the Satan. Okay, and that is an Islamic teaching. That's why one of the miracles of Islam, which me myself I like to use Hassan a lot. One of the so powerful prophecy. That the enemies of Islam, okay, they have stronger weapons than the Muslims.
Physically,
now,
yes.
Yeah, the opponents.
In the beginning, yes, and then now.
Now, like for example, when it comes to social media, it's controlled by just what happened recently. Is the riots. Yeah. Social media was utilized by the enemies of Islam. Even the guy who committed the crime, he was a Christian. He had nothing to do with Islam. Yet they were attacking the mosque. So the point here I want to bring you back to is there's a verse in the Quran. Allah said, "هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره الكافرون." It's Allah who sent Prophet Muhammad with the true religion in order to preserve the other religions, even if the disbelievers dislike it. Now, even there is the Islamic opponents, they have stronger weapons, social media and so on. The fastest growing, which can cause many barriers to stop people accepting Islam, yet the fastest growing religion in the Western world, specifically, where they say we oppress women, where they say Islam is bad and everything, Islam is spreading. And there was a study carried out about the British women. They studied Islam for 5 years and they accept Islam. That is a powerful prophecy in the Quran.
Okay, it's good for them. But
That should be good for you too. Inshallah, you become Muslim.
He's on a no comment. He's on a no comment thing.
No comment, Mama.
Oh, Bailey's.
Remember, I'm no comment when it comes to my views, right?
Yeah, no problem. Inshallah, anyway, what I would say to you, look, Hassan, this is again, even this, what you're doing now, no comments, yeah? I don't want to speak. All of this, it came from who? It came
It comes from, don't you? For example, I know I'm finite. My mind is finite. I don't know everything, okay? So when I'm presented with a variety of views, right, I have to make sure I'm thoroughly well researched and looked in them to start making judgments. Because if I start speaking, I could mislead people. I could spread misinformation. That's why I like to keep things like.
But Hassan,
I'm a conservative. I like to keep things.
I agree, and I respect you for that. But what we're talking about, Hassan, we're talking that which is not by necessity. I never want to say to you, look, let's talk about the Bible, the manuscript, and so on. No, I'm talking about, that's why I said to you, when I speak to the Christians, I will never, generally speaking, to the layman Christians, I don't speak about detailed issues. What I speak about that which is not by necessity, which is the oneness of Allah. The oneness of Allah is clear and pure in everything. The concept of Islam is so clear. There is only one God. Yes, he has attributes, perfect attributes. He sent the prophets and messengers to call people to worship God alone. Okay? That's why when you have experience, and before I want to bring you back to the issue of I don't want to make no comments. Again, this is the Western Academy has been poisoned by Greek philosophy, which they always I don't wanna. No, you make Jesus. He never said what you said. I don't want to make comments. No, you have to either be.
After every time I say Allahu Alam, don't you?
Yeah,
What does that
no
mean?
doubt.
Why do you say that?
No, but I don't say Allah is one, Allah Alam. No. I don't say Allah Alam. Yeah, Allah Alam, no doubt, and Alam I know as well. I'm not Alam, but I know for certainty. Certain things we don't say Allah Alam. No, certain things which there is room for doubt. That we say Allah Alam. You understand? But say something else. Like I don't say Muhammad Rasulullah, Allah Alam. What do you mean Allah Alam? Is Allah Alam, na'am. Allah told you He's Rasulullah. You know? So the point here is that you should think about yourself, like I said to you, reflect upon about your situation. Because like I said to you, I remind you, when you die, none of this Western academic way of, I don't want to take no position, I don't want to say, either you have to do the truth or the falsehood. But do your research, inshallah.
Shamsi, do you want to take part of my survey?
Yeah, give it to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a pen?
Oh, I think you're going to give me the actual paper.
Yeah.
It has Quran, it has. Yeah. It has. Barakallah, big sister. Shukran. Barakallah. I can give you a nice book. Come. Where is do you have that?
Bring the atheism book.
I can give you a nice book. And I can give it to your sister as well, because you want to give us, help us. I can give it to you read as well. It's a nice book that you can read. I mean, you can read it, it shows that Islam about. Give two.
Two, brother.
And you have it, I'm going to show to people, to the Muslims. You can come to our table in Shepherd's Bush. You can come to our table in Shepherd's Bush because even the Muslims should read it.
Sure, here,
it's very, very beneficial. Very beneficial. Muslims to read it and to learn from it and to give da'wah. Here, my sister.
Do you need a pen?
I'm going to take it or?
You just fill it out and bring it back to me.
I have to fill it. Okay. It's a survey, like survey.
It's a home office now.
But you know home office, are you? You sure?
Secret agent. It's Amil. Amil Sirri.
You know Amil 5, are you?
It's MA research.
Okay,
sign your life away.
I'm not going to come in this week. Probably after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I'll bring the show.
Okay, thank you.
Because I said, thank you for take care of yourself. Yes, how are you, man? You're right, how are you doing?